What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the first episode in our coverage of KeeperRL. My name is Splattercat. If you've never been here before, I play indie games. KeeperRL is one of those games that I covered a long time ago, back before it even came out on Steam. That's one of my really old weekly indie newcomers at this point, and it's basically a game kind of like Dungeon Keeper, I guess. It's a roguelike game in which you take a bad guy, a baddie, someone who is interested in the investments of evil, and you build a dungeon, and then monsters move in, and you use that dungeon as a staging point to invade other colonies and things like that of otherworldly, well, I guess of other alignments. There we go. That'd be the best way that I would put it. So if there's any of those nasty lawful goods around, you can go and beat their heads in and just be like, ah ha ha ha, evil wins. So yeah, welcome on back. Let's play the game. We're going to be playing the campaign today. We're going to be playing the Keeper mode because the game is called KeeperRL, not Adventurer RL. There is an adventure mode in the game. If you're into things like Dwarf Fortress or whatever, it's very similar. So instead of playing the bad guy who's like building the world around him, you can play an adventurer who's a part of the world that the Keeper has been building, and you can just run around and play it kind of like a roguelike, where your character has gear and stats, and you just like stab things to death until you die. It's not particularly like incredibly well fleshed out right now, but it's still reasonably fun. Like, I didn't hate it. I mean, it was like playing a pretty bare bones roguelike if you ever wanted to try it on out. So yeah, Keeper mode, there we go. It's going to go ahead and find us and generate us a world. So the world is called Kalasia. Our Keeper's name is Ulrico. Ulrico! Okay, we got to pick a starting spot on the map. So we've got red dragons as main villains. We've got lizard men as main villains. We've got warriors. We've got elementalists. We've got tree spirits. We've got cyclops. We've got gnomes. And we've got greenskins. Okay. I don't particularly like this map, and so I'm going to re-roll it a couple of times. There we go. This one, we've got an unknown ally. We've got dark elves allied with us. We've got lizard men. We've got knights. We've got red dragons. We've got cyclopes. We've got ants. Okay. It's not too bad. Our ally is going to be a little bit outgunned over on this side, so I like this map. This map is called Abara, and our Keeper's new name is Floris. Okay, just in case you're into Mountain Blade Floris mod. Dude, Floris mod is what is up. I love Floris mod, Mountain Blade Warband. Alright, so we'll put our Keeper right there. We can add more allies if we really wanted to, and it'll generate the map a little bit further. I think when you generate an ally, though, we get... It's got gnomes, we've got greenskins, we've got unknown allies as well. Okay. So that makes sense. I don't know if I want that many allies. Oh wow, you can make all kinds of lesser villains and stuff. Cool. Well, let's go with 3 main villains, 6 lesser villains. We'll go with 3 allies. Yeah, that seems alright to me. And we're going to start off right here next to the bandits. We'll confirm that. So we're in the world of Abara. Our Keeper's name is Floris, which we can actually change. I think we should change it. I'm going to name him Bog Bouncer. There we go. Yeah, Bog Bouncer. Don't come up in my bog. This is my bog, son. Come up in my bog and get your ass flogged. Come and get it. The imps are going to be sad if you don't add any retired dungeons. Will you continue? So what this allows you to do is if you've played the game before and you've lost, the game will save your dungeon, or if you've played the game before and you've won, it'll like save your dungeon, and then other people on the internet as well, it does the same thing with their dungeons, and you can import this giant encyclopedia of dungeons into your game so that you can invade other AI-controlled versions of bases that other players have built with booby traps and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll add a retired dungeon. We'll add duplicity, sure, why not? We will also add, I don't know, we'll spread them around a little bit. We'll add, so we've got him right there. We've already got a low-level one. Something like that would work. Yeah, we'll add them on in. And they're going to be hostile. They're going to be enemies that are doing like the same thing we're doing, trying to conquer the areas. Oh, well then I'll move my guy to right there. And hopefully we'll go after some bandits. So Bog Bouncer is in the world of Abara. Let's build ourselves a base. Let's do this thing. It's downloading everybody else's bases right now, in case you were wondering, so that we can attack those and invade them. So, Warlock, you are dabbling in the dark arts a tad, I see. Welcome to the Valley of Abara. Well, you'll have to do what you can to keep yourself together. Build rooms, storage units, and workshops to endorse your minions. The only way to go forward in this world is to destroy the ones who oppose you. Use the mouse to dig into the mountain. You can select rectangular areas using the shift key. You'll need to access trees, iron, stone, and gold ore. Build rooms and traps and prepare for war. You can control a minion at any time by clicking on them in the Minions tab or on the map. Okay, cool. I already know all this stuff. So yeah, welcome to Dungeon Keeper. I'm sorry, Dungeon Keeper. Welcome to KeeperRL. As of right now, what we really want to do is we want to clear out some trees. We also want to scout a little bit, but it's going to start with the tree chopping tool already enabled. So let's just go ahead and do that. And so they're going to start chopping down trees. This is our keeper. This is our imps. Our imps do all the labor inside of our base, and they don't count against our population total as far as I know. I've had a bunch of imps before, and I don't think they count towards your population total, because right now it says we have 1 population out of 10. So there we go. We'll chop down some trees. I like to have a good wood surplus before I even start. It makes me feel like I'm in better shape than, you know. It makes it so I don't have to chop a whole bunch of trees later on. So let's just get wood for right now, giggity. That's what we've always done on this channel when we play survival-esque games or management games. We get wood first, and then we worry about the consequences later. So there we go. We shouldn't have to worry about anything attacking us for a little bit. We've got actually quite a bit of leeway before the game starts being mean to us. And, like, don't think for a second that this game is incapable of being mean to you. It's super capable of being mean to you. Like, ridiculously capable. This game can kick your ass if you're not careful. I'm going to flatten out this wall as well using the D key. That's right, we're going to drop the D on this stone wall. Oh, yeah. The subtle joy of dropping that D. The D key opens up your dig tool, in case you're wondering what I'm on about right now. I'm on about the D. Sometimes it's the only thing that you're able to talk about here on the channel. Okay, good. Got ourselves a wall dug out right there. I'm actively going to start digging into the mountain, because it's what's expected of me. Yes, I could use the shift key, but I find it more satisfying to do it this way. I just like painting everything, and frankly, we don't really have that much else to do. So why worry about it? Why worry about it? They're now digging into the walls. We are going to have to set up a storage space. My suggestion would be that for resources, maybe we put it like right here. Yeah, that seems alright. And then we do something like that right there. And actually, I'm going to make this kind of a big room. There we go. A nice large room where we can store all of our sundries and related objects. I'll probably plant a door right there and some other little things. But in the early game, stuff you want to worry about, getting yourself up and running, that's pretty much it. We're going to have to get some minions, we're going to have to build some gear, we're going to have to make sure that our minions have like weapons and potions and sundries to make themselves a little bit more effective in combat. We'll start running some minor raids against our neighbors to steal some of their stuff and bolster our strength. Because the rewards for murdering one's enemies are pretty satisfying. Pretty satisfying. I'm just going to open up a single column right there, and this is going to taper off after a little bit. I will probably do something similar over on this side. And yeah, that works out great. You can zoom in and out. I don't know if that's lined up or not. Yeah, it is. It got too far away, and so I was getting confused. We're zoomed too far out. You can actually use your scroll bar to go in and out if you want to. Ooh, in and out. If that's what you want to do, that's what you can do. I'm going to set up some storage. You can do that through the storage menu right here. We'll put some resources down. In case you're wondering why I did it that weird janky way, there's a reason. There's a reason. I'm doing it that way because I like to have little wooden walkways that run all over the place and make my base feel all nice and like put together and well designed. This is actually one of those games that I completely forgotten about, in all honesty, until I saw Avic playing it the other day. And I was like, you know, I should check in on this game. Avic gave it a shot, so I was like, let me go check the game out and see what's going on with that, because I remember doing my weekly indie newcomer on KeeperRL, and I liked the game. It was too easy. Like, I remember beating it in like 30 minutes. Just being like, alright, well, I like the concept that they're going for. It's just that, like, I've blown my way through this super, super simply without any struggle. And so maybe I should wait until they put some challenge in. On this side, we're going to make kind of a communal sleeping area, like so that we can start getting some minions. I'm basically just going to line this with like beds and areas, like little cages and things like that. There's all kinds of minions you can get inside of this game. You can get beasties like bats, and you can get things like bears, and you can get things like hobgoblins and goblins, and you can get things like orcs. There's all kinds of cool stuff you can get to join your faction along the way, and each one of them requires basically like a different investment as far as what kind of objects you're going to have to purchase in order to invite them on into your society. I think this is going to be a tad shallow by comparison to this one, but I always prefer that my bases be symmetrical. I don't know if you build your bases like that, but for me, that's how I always end up. Oh, that's not good. Oh, there's water on the opposite side of our base. Shit. Okay, well, stay away from the water then. Leave like a wall in between us and it. And I suppose that means we'll have to come up with an alternate means to advance ourselves, because I think that's a flooding risk. I'm pretty sure that if I dig one of these walls out, something bad will happen. Like if I dig this right here, maybe it'll flood, maybe it won't actually, I don't know. I don't really want to test it here on camera though. I don't, man, so much for my symmetry, right? That's going to be the most upsetting part, is that I was so dead set. We got such a good base this time for like building. We had lots of empty space and like a flat wall in the front of it, and it just took that from me. It took it from me so violently, it knocked me down and it took my symmetrical lunch money. Damn, damn, damn. Luckily, this isn't really a game that requires huge amounts of space in order to get things done, so I'm not going to stress too much about it. We'll put that right there, and we'll use that maybe for like a pigsty or something like that a little bit later. But for right now, we really got to focus on getting ourselves all set up with minions. Now, I want to put in flooring. I'm a big fan of flooring because it makes you more efficient. Now, we don't have any stone, so that's not going to be an option for right now. But what we do have is this little bit of wood right here. And so we'll run that down to the end. I'm trying to make everything look beautiful. Make it all look beautiful. Because really, what kind of boss are we if we live inside of a dungeon that's not constructed to be beautiful? There we go. That'll look really good. And then for this right here... Oh, I can't because of the storage area. Okay, that's fine. I didn't want to do it that much anyways. Oh, and also I didn't have it selected. That would be the other part of why it wasn't working.
Okay, Splattercat dumb, everyone else smart. Suck to be Splattercat, yes?
Alright, so we'll go to there. We'll go to like right there. On this side, this is going to use up a considerable portion of our wood, by the way. And I don't care, because having a beautiful base is the only thing that matters. Having a beautiful base is the only thing that has ever mattered. If you're not a dungeon boss with a dope-ass house that's not lined with gold and all kinds of gilded statues and things that are absolutely unnecessary, just extravagant displays of your wealth, then what kind of villain are you? Like, why are we going out of our way to get all of these materials if that's not what we're doing with them? They're going to start storing things up. I'm going to let them complete this construction, and then I'll be back. They have finished their task of laying the wood down. Just laying the wood down so fiercely inside of our base. I've actually summoned a few more imps. In case you were wondering, I grabbed 2 more imps. If you want to know how to do that, you go to the magic menu over here, and then you just select imps, and that's it. What we really need to do is we need to build some libraries and some things to help us get started with... Oh, I missed a spot. No! Well, we can't have spots that were missed. Why is that spot not functioning? Oh, that's weird. Why is that not working? I wish so much that it would. Huh. Interesting. So we've got those 2 spots that don't want to be floored for some reason. But they've gathered up all of our resources, and that's good enough for me. So we probably want to keep our keeper away from like the main part of the dungeon. That's probably not a good plan to have him in like an area where he can easily and quickly get his ass kicked. So instead, I'm going to dig a little tunnel off and back here that sort of goes over to here, and we'll give him like a big long hallway. And this is going to lead to his throne room area, the area where he is safest and where he feels like he can hole up and hide from things that want to murder him. Let me speed up the game slightly. You could do that with the number keys, in case you were wondering about that. The 1, 2, 3, and 4 keys are going to be the ones that let you speed up and slow down the game. So I will... How much space do I have here? I just have like a 3 by whatever. I mean, I suppose I can live with that. I could do something like that right there, and we'll call this a library, possibly. In the meantime, we also need to attract more villains to our base, so I'm going to strongly suggest that we start installing beds in one of these rooms. I don't normally start off with the orcs. I normally start off by getting a whole bunch of beasts. And so if you're wondering, I'm doing something a little bit different right now. Each bed allows us access to like an orc, basically, as far as I know. So there it is. That's been done. We could probably use some more wood as well before we go any further, but let's build his like inner sanctum area, like his backer sanctum, the area where all of his Kickstarter backers get to hang out with him. Kickstart a villain. You deserve it. Kickstart yourself a villain, son. Alright, and then we'll deforest a little bit more of this. No, I don't want that done. If you wanted to cancel an operation, by the way, all you have to do is go through and just click the spot again, in case you were wondering. So we'll click all of that stuff right there. Basically clear out as many trees as possible. We can steal from our neighbors if we end up needing resources a little bit more aggressively. On this side, I would say to throw in a few more floors. We'll call this a thin strip right there. We'll call this... Sorry, my base has to be beautiful. I don't mean to frustrate you with my desire to have beautiful wooden flooring in every single room. But like I already said, what are we really doing this for if we're not getting super awesome carpeting and flooring out of all of this? The base has to look beautiful. If it doesn't, we look like an asshole. We look like a bad villain. And I don't want to look like a bad villain. Appearances are everything when it comes to this industry of villainy and disgusting debauchery. So there it is. So now I'm going to turn one of these into my inner sanctum. Now if you want to generate mana, you have to have libraries. And so I'm going to put in just a couple... I should have started from the outside, although I think no matter what I did, it was going to end up weirdly lined. I'm just going to put in bookcases like so. And I think it'll be alright. Alternatively, inside one of these other rooms, what I'd like to do... So they'll get those done. And now what'll happen is if you watch, our keeper will go in here, and he'll start dedicating himself to study. Study is one of the activities you can assign your keeper to, and it just generates mana constantly. Because you're going to need a lot of mana for, like, the random stuff you're doing. Oh, look, we got a orc shaman has joined our forces. And he'll actually help us with our study now, as far as I know. Like, if I take this... Nope, that's not what I wanted. But if I click on this little guy right here, he's actually studying at the moment. So he's helping me generate more mana for myself. He's level 2. Everybody in this game has stats. Like, every single creature and object and thing in this game has its own stats. Everything from, like, its accuracy, to its damage, to its armor, to how fast it is, how long one of its turns last, etc., all those sorts of things. You can rename them if you wanted to be named after one of the characters that's inside of my game, by all means. Shout it out down below. Do your thing. And I'll do my best to go through and name everybody, although be aware that I pre-record these series, so it might be a little bit because I'm planning on doing a big batch of recording here today. So it might be a little while before I'm able to adjust for viewers. Just be aware. If I don't do it, it's not because I hate you or anything. It's just because it kind of went down like that. It kind of went down like that. So we ended up with quite a bit of wood here. The next thing that I'd like to do, if you click on your bookcases, it'll have all of your research that you can do in order to advance your campaign. I would suggest that we research geology and pig breeding. That is going to hurt our mana supply. But since we have 2 people working on our mana now, it should regenerate reasonably quickly as long as we don't blow it on all kinds of stuff. The other thing that I wanted to do is I'm going to take a tunnel back this way. And this is iron ore. When you research geology, it gives you access to the ores that are on your map, or at least several of them. Yeah, we'll just call this a mining shaft over here. We'll bring this over to this side. I'll go like so. We'll get all that iron, and then this down here is just generic, like, granite stone. And if we grab all of that right there, it'll allow us to, like, put in nice stone floors and stuff like that. Now, we only have 1 bed filled for right now. Conquer an enemy tribe or torture some innocent beings to get more mana. Yeah, the torture system is not in the game yet, so don't listen to that. As far as I know, you can't torture people yet. This game is in early access, so there will be features missing, and there will be stuff that, like, when the game tells you to do it, you'll be like, well, how the shit do I do that? And then you'll do some research online, and you'll realize that that's not in the game yet. Hopefully that will allow us access to this stone wall over here. Yeah, there we go. So our imps have finally found their way. We're going to need a bunch of iron and a bunch of other stuff in order to make our lives easier. We've already regenerated 30 mana. So you see what I mean? It doesn't actually take that long to get your mana back, especially if you're hanging out. Oh good, we got a bunch of orc shamans. I suppose that'll help with my mana, but I don't need this many shamans. Huh. I think you get orc shamans based on how many libraries you have. So I'm going to turn this into a training room over here with wooden dummies. And then obviously I'll have to banish some of these guys, which sucks. Like, I don't want to have to banish them. They just arrived, and they're helping me get my manas back. My mananas. But that was always an item in one of my games that I was going to make. Like, I was going to make an RPG, And then you were going to get your mana back from bananas. Like it's banana, but with the word mana inside of it because I thought that was funny. There we go. Now we've got an orc. You've got to have a training room, otherwise you can't get orcs. Now he's going to come inside of here, and let's slow the game down for a second. He's just going to hang out and train. That's all that he's going to do. You see how he's level 5.05? Every time he attacks a dummy, his level goes up slightly, and so he's just going to hang out over here and get this done. That's just what he's going to do. He's Lurble, apparently. I would suggest we banish a couple of these because we don't need this many shamans. There we go. We'll get rid of them. We've got another orc that's joined our forces, so they're out and doing their training thing right now. This game is called KeeperRL. If you wanted to get it for yourself, obviously I'll have a link for you down below if you like what I do here on the channel and the content that I make. Consider checking out the Patreon. Otherwise, I will see you all in the next episode. Thank you for stopping on in. It's very, very kind of you to grace me with your presence today. I don't know what presents you got me. I don't know. I've been shaking them, though. They've been under the tree. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.